Hello everyone, Ace here, and today let's talk about the latest update regarding the Twitter files, and specifically talk about a revelation that many people appear to have overlooked. But first, I feel it is necessary to provide an overall summary of Part 8 of the Twitter files, before delving into that overlooked revelation specifically. For you see, Part 8 of the Twitter files deals very specifically with the propaganda apparatus that the US government set up on Twitter that was not only allowed by Twitter, but also received preferential treatment, despite the fact that it was explicitly against the rules. Although it is of note that Twitter did at least suspend some of these accounts after knowing about them for years, presumably after they were no longer useful. Amusingly, Twitter got good PR when they did this, and got to pretend that they weren't actually biased, when ironically, the reality is that this is further proof that they were, in fact, biased. It should also be noted that a number of these US propaganda accounts used AI-created deepfake profile pics and were specifically not verified in order to make them look like they are legitimate ordinary people, rather than tied to the US government. So on the one hand, this is all definitely sketchy stuff, though admittedly nowhere near as bad as the previous Twitter file documents. But let's now move on to that revelation that I hinted at earlier. That being that thanks to these Twitter files very specifically, we now know that Twitter did indeed have tags specifically to amplify certain accounts that it liked, and could do so even if the accounts weren't officially verified. Now again, this was something that was implied in previous Twitter files, but not actually confirmed until now. And even then, I suspect most people understand that it was more or less an open secret that Twitter was giving preferential treatment and extra reach to accounts that it did like. But it is nice to see that this is 100% proven. And while the examples that have been revealed are specifically government dummy accounts, it's not exactly difficult to see how this whitelist tag could and most likely would have been abused by Twitter in other ways, such as trying to make certain ideologies seem far more popular in the US and in the West in general, alongside trying to make other ideologies seem far less popular than they actually are in the same areas. Having said all that though, there is another question to be brought up outside of the whitelist tags. For while it is true that the dummy accounts that have been presented were meant to influence the Middle East specifically, what has been revealed so far does make one wonder just how many similar dummy accounts were created by the US to have similar influences in both the United States itself, as well as other nations in the West. This is a question in particular that I do believe should be answered, if at all possible. Now, for those curious, I will of course be leaving a link in the description below to these latest Twitter files for you to check them out for yourself if you should so desire. I will also, of course, continue to keep my ear to the ground and keep you all informed should any more news come. But in any case, this has been Ace. Hope to see you guys again soon. Take care. Ace out.